What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a while, so for those of you who don't remember, my name is Matt, and I'm so excited to finally be back here with another episode of Dork Daily here at the Holland house. What we're going to be working on today is something I've been really excited to show you, something I've been working on for quite a while here and there, and that is the Hasbro Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Dino Megazord. Now, this is a pretty cool figure to begin with, especially for the $40 price point that it was released at on Amazon initially, but my biggest gripe is that it really just lacks a lot of detail. So that's what I'm going to be doing. In addition to giving it just more detail, I wanted to tell a story and have some character. And I always thought it'd be interesting to see like a battle damaged, beat to hell, survive the Armageddon type Megazord. So that's going to be the goal. I'm going to cut the knee joint because it doesn't bend like a knee would for some reason. Cut the knee joint, reposition it, patch that up. Everything that's gray is going to be silver. And then I'm going to be hand painting some more details on top of that, on most of it, except for the Mastodon. Actually, there's so many and they're so fine. I'm actually going to be ordering new stickers to replace these from BD15 decals. They make great Megazord stickers from all different generations of Power Rangers and different releases of Megazords. So, if you're interested in doing something like this yourself, definitely check them out. So that being said, let's get to it.
Alright, so my first step is going to be taking everything apart the best that I can, and this is just going to make the painting process a lot easier at the beginning. Next, I'm just real quick hitting the trunk with a heat gun, and this will just help me to curve the trunk a bit more. And then once it cools, it should keep that shape a bit better. Now we can get started on the painting. First, I'm going to hit it with the Rust-Oleum Adhesion Promoter, and then the Rust-Oleum Metallic Silver. Next, what I'm going to be doing is taking this darker metallic Plaid Effects acrylic paint, and essentially dry brushing it, which is getting as little on the brush as possible, and then wisping it back and forth across the entire surface of the Mastodon head. The reason I'm doing this is to give it that weathered gunmetal look, because if you look at the Mastodon head in the show, it is more of a gunmetal color as opposed to the matte black of the rest of the body.
Alright, what I'm going to do next is apply the new stickers that I ordered from BD15 decals to the Mastodon Zord. And the reason I opted to go with stickers instead of hand painting any details on this, because I feel like the Mastodon is really crucial to the overall look of the Megazord, and I would not be able to get this level of detail and make it pop like it should by hand painting. Okay, so many very tedious minutes later, this is where we're at, and I must say, it looks a million times better than before, and I'm really excited to see everything come together. So what I'm doing next is I'm painting the details onto the saber-toothed tiger legs. I'm doing that by taking my trusty Rust-Oleum and spraying it onto some cardboard right over here, and then taking a fine brush and just going in and painting it by hand. I have two here that I did a test on, and now I'm going to do the other two.
Alright, next I'll be doing the saber-toothed tiger tusks and triceratops horns using this Plaid Effects metallic acrylic paint. And the reason I'm using acrylic as opposed to anything like enamel is because the type of plastic it is, anything enamel will just remain tacky and not actually cure properly. Now it's time for some body work. The whole reason I'm doing this is because if you look at the Megazord in the show, there's nothing visible poking up from behind his head or below his butt. So I'm cutting off the nub on the bottom just to kind of keep that nice line underneath. And then what I'm doing with the tip is cutting it off, flipping around, folding it back on itself and gluing it in place to look like the tail just kind of folded up and sat on the back. The glue I'm using here is a special type of Loctite that is made just for plastics. It comes with a primer pen. You prime both surfaces and then apply the glue like any other super glue. Now what I'm doing here is taking this stuff called water weld. It's basically just a two-part epoxy in a tube. You cut off a chunk, mix it together with your fingers, and it does get pretty tacky, so I had to take my gloves off. You got about a 15-minute working time, and you can just use that to patch up the hole in the knee here, and I'm also going to fill in the already existing hole by the neck. Now that that's cured, we can go ahead and get to sanding with a nail file and a fine grit sandpaper. Now that the work's done on the knees, we can hit the whole area with matte black spray paint. What I'm doing for the base here is drilling 2 holes into the wood, and I'm going to drill 2 corresponding holes into the bottom of the Triceratops foot, and I'm going to insert 2 little metal rods that will help to support the Megazord on the base. What I'm doing here is drawing out some cracks that I want to make in the ground around the Megazord foot, and I'm going to go ahead and just take my Dremel and carve those out.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my absolute favorite part of any project, the weathering. So what that'll consist of is taking some Kiwi black shoe polish here and coating the whole figure, and then once that sits a little bit, I'll dab away the excess, and that'll help bring out all these details as well as add an overall grime effect to the figure. And once that's done, I'll take my Model Masters Chrome Silver here and give the whole thing a dry brushing to really add that battle damaged, scuffed metal look. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is make some lightning for the sword. And basically what I did was just made a quick little template with some cardboard I had laying around of the sword blade here. And I laid some plastic wrap over it and kind of crinkled it up. And now I'm going to just go ahead and basically draw the lightning using my hot glue gun here. So once the hot glue dries, you just kind of just tear away the plastic here. And I'll have to go in and clean it up a bit, but yeah. So we're just left with this hot glue. And it has kind of that crackly effect underneath as well because of the plastic. So yeah, I wanted to just go ahead and punch out all these parts in the middle here and then do the back half. And so here we have the hot glue lightning. It still needs some paint, but just to show you guys, just slide right in there. And there you go.
So what I did for the base, after giving it some texture, I got some broken concrete pieces from outside and actually glued those in place and hit the whole thing with a flat grade primer. Then I covered the whole thing in shoe polish and dabbed away the excess to give it a bit more of an organic look. And then after that, I came in and dry brushed some gray on the concrete pieces to give it some more surface texture, and then also hit some high points with white as well. Then I just painted some red trim around the base with some cheap acrylic, and then now for the final steps, hitting everything with a matte clear coat and putting it all together.
And that's it, everyone. I'm so excited with how this guy turned out. It's pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'd like to give a very special thank you to the very talented model, actor, rapper, dancer, and most importantly, good friend Matt Chua for making the music for this episode for me. You can find more of his content on Instagram at ChuAmerica. If you'd like to see more of my content and more of my work, you can check out my Instagram at The Walking Deadpool Cosplay. Also, make sure you click that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't already, and also hop on over to dorkdaily.com to check out more content. Once again, I'm Matt, and thanks a lot for watching.